Good evening, ladies and gents. As you Evening, ladies and gents. As you are coming in, if you can see my screen and you can hear my voice, please do raise your hand on the Zoom application so that. Thanks, Fanny. So we're in business. Evening, ladies and gents. Happy spring day. It was quite warm today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. It is the 1st of September 2021 for the Trader Series. Simon, as mentioned a few weeks ago, will not be joining us for quite a bit. He is long Russell 2000. Let me just, in fact, that period is wrong. Let me just quickly fix that. That is supposed to be 21. So yeah, this is where he got triggered, and I think he got in here, or this is where I'm not sure. Yeah, but his long Russell 2000. Yeah, we'll update how that goes, and that's all. That's the only trade that he has in, and I would think he's about break even. He's somewhere around break even. Or a little bit down on the trade. So I got stopped on a couple of trades. I got stopped on BHP. So after that a false breakout there, just completely collapsed. Let me bring back those closing now below the 200-day exponential moving average. I'm not 100% sure why that happened. I wasn't aware of any news coming in, whether it was dividend day or any sense announcement coming out from BHP. So yeah, I got stopped out of that trade. I also got stopped on Monday. Thanks, Milo. I didn't know that it was active today. Otherwise, I would have adjusted my stuff correctly. I kept making this mistake rather. I keep forgetting or keep rather noting down when the active days are going to be, so that I can adjust my stops accordingly in anticipation of the dividend move to adjust for the price movement to adjust for dividend. Monday also got stopped on it, closed below the 50-day exponential moving average yesterday. I did suspect yesterday when I was looking at my charts that I will get stopped on Monday. I did get stopped in the open. It gapped down in the open, but it did close the gap intraday. I think that's about it. I got stopped on Discovery, but I think we did see that last week. So on the outside, I did add on a couple of positions, but we'll see as we go through the positions where I entered before last week. Oh yeah, Mario, that's right. They paid a $2 dividend. I remember seeing that, but I just like I said, missed when active was on BHP. So Absa, strong bullish. I don't know why the sell-off in the market happened. I saw that a lot of stocks in the market today got clubbed by the market. I have no idea why. But it is what it is. Sometimes in the market you get days like this, and it's just a matter of not panicking, man, and let the markets do what the market do. I had a bearish engulfing candle. It's unsurprisingly, I suppose, at an old support level. It's not really surprising to have such candlestick patterns. But I'm waiting for close through that 165 level, so that if we get a close through that, I'll add it to my position, raising my stop as opposed to just below this bearish engulfing candle. If this, I suppose, pre-stopped holds between now and then. Aspen also had its own bearish engulfing candle, waiting for 200-day exponential moving average. Trend has been moving quite nicely, and I like it when the stock is trending higher, but trending on a nice jog. It allows me to pull up the position, with not a huge gap between my buy points. Ensuring that my average buy price is not does not move too quickly. So I'm liking how Aspen is moving at the minute. Just waiting for that close through that 200 level. I'll then raise my stop to around 187, just below this the bearish engulfing candle there. I think the market is not going to find me there. By the way, looks like it was a day of bearish engulfing candles, so this is the third one in a row. But holding that 50-day exponential moving average, which is quite important, continuing the trend of making higher lows, looking not too bad really. Looking like that's forming. But it initially it's still the cup and handle, forming the handle with an ascending triangle pattern. So really this cup and handle also looks like an ascending triangle pattern, but we'll see if the stock breaks out. But as long as the stock is holding that 50-day exponential moving average, I'm quite happy and I'm quite comfortable with that. And now we'll see. I'll wait for a break back above that 110, 110.70 is the level that I'm looking at. Actually, just on Njabulo, I was writing a piece recently on Njabulo, just looking at the long-term picture on the stock. I think I went as far as the monthly chart. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, if you look at the monthly charts, this thing looks quite beautiful. This thing looks looks quite nice, breaking through the downtrend line there, the down channel, taking it from its highs and holding that 200-month exponential moving average, and now back above it, the 200-month exponential moving average. So if there's any possibility or any odds of the stock coming to that 174 level with a risk, a long-term stop loss of, I suppose, if you're looking for a long-term hold, they're around that 81-ish level, for that 174 target. Like it's, if you can ride that trend quite nicely without losing a position, that would be a lekker trend to be on. Even where my stop is, we can look at that risk-reward ratio, that possible reward. Of course, it's going to be a battle hiding a stop loss, but looks like a decent risk-reward ratio there. I hope. Hopefully, if that trend gets on the go, I will not lose my position. Of course, if I get stopped out and the trend is still on, I'll just jump back in. I'll be just in this trade for as long as it's trending higher. BHP, not quite a bearish engulf, rather Bitcop, not quite a bearish engulfing candle, but came to I suppose test that 50-period exponential moving average. Did close below it, but it hasn't taken out that low yet. So I'm not worried. In my stop loss is quite a distance away. So if you can close back above the 333 level, I'll add it to my position, raising my stop to just below that low. That's depending if there's going to be a candle that takes out that low, but I think This low won't be taken out. So I'll just be waiting for a close through that 333 level to add to my position and raise my stop loss to 309.70. Bidvest looking fairly good. Found some sellers again there at that 207. Look like it's starting to build a chart pattern here. Let's see how the stock behaves over the next few days. Starting to build up a nice ascending triangle. So I think I'll be adding to my position if we can get it close through 207.90 and raise my stop loss to just below those lows there, around that 50-day exponential moving average. But we'll see. Also monitoring volume at the same time there. Capitec, it's one of the positions I added into as it moved back into the higher box, raise my stop to 1780. When a stock starts to move, I like to give it a little bit more room because when you want to give your winner the room to run and run and rest. But yeah, Capitec moving quite nicely, moving into higher boxes. I'll wait for a close through 1956. If we can get new highs. We didn't make a new high today, a new all-time high, but I'm waiting for a close through 1956, and then I'll add to my position and raise my stop loss to just below, I suppose. Just below that low there, around that 1836 level. So even though that we made a new high today, but we didn't make a new higher close. So we're still close below like yesterday's close and that high close. I think it was on Friday. Clicks also recently moving into a higher box. So this box is quite a range. So I'll be building up, continuing to build my position on the way up to the box. But I'll try to keep my stop loss away and not inside that box. I'm looking to see if there's another chart pattern that can get developed here where I'll add to my position and raise my stop to somewhere around that 289. But if it just powers through it, I'll just add above 327. Coronation, it had a strong breakout yesterday, so it's been stuck on this range for quite some time. It broke out, I think it was on Monday, a nice strong breakout, and today coming back, selling off with a bearish engulfing candle, but holding on to that 50-day exponential moving average, which is pretty good. So I'll wait for a close back above that 52 rand level. If we close above 52. I'll raise my stop to just below the low of this bearish engulfing candle. If of course this pre-stop doesn't get taken out. So if it closes back above that 52.50 level, I'll add again to my position and raise my stop. But the longer term trade is actually starting to get triggered above that 56 rand level. So if we can get, if we can get it close through 56 rand level, and at that point I have also a risk-free trade, that would be quite a deal for me. That'll be quite a trade. Distal finally got moving again. It's been stuck in this range for an age. I think for about 3 months since, from July, June, July, August. A whole of June, whole of July. So about 3 months in this range, been stuck between that 175 and 166 levels for quite some time. That consolidation took quite a bit to break out from. So when it broke up there, I just raised my stop to that 166 level, and now I'm sitting at around. Last I check, of course, I haven't updated the journal for today, but last I check, I had about 45% profit on this trade. So now, if I can get through that 182 level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just below that level there at around break even on my last trade there. That means I'll be able now to add to the position, putting another 5% risk on this trade. Of course, there's the deal with Heineken. We'll see how that plays out, and numbers that get thrown around on Twitter, and by analysts on radio shows, talking around prices around 285. 235 and then between 200 and 235, but we'll see in time. We'll see in time how that deal plays out with Heineken. But for now, I'm just holding a stock that is rising. Exaro, it looks like the sellers that we keep finding there around that 185-ish level aren't stepping away, but there is a loss of volume happening around that 185, 182 levels. So if we can break through the 185 and some change level, I don't know what the catalyst would be. I'll raise my stop to around the 167 level, and then add to my position. Start to run the stock, but we'll see. We'll see if Exada will start to make new highs. First round, the banks have been moving quite nicely. Did take a breather today, but the market, the entire market has been selling off quite a bit today. So we will close through that 62-ish level, which is these levels that just seem like they come from nowhere. Just pick them up from the weekly chart and just go back in history to find important levels that the market respected before. And usually when the market respects a level, when it comes back to that level, from above or below, it usually respects that level again. So that's the levels I like to use to add to positions and trade. At this point in time, I'm trading as if first rand is trading at all-time highs, but just using the those prior respected areas as a guideline to kind of be cautious. Glencore gapped down today. Also, don't know if it was ex-div today. I haven't been checking since announcements today. Not 100%, but I think they did announce a dividend as well. I'm not 100% sure if it was ex-div today. It came pretty close to stopping me out. In fact, it came twice to stopping me out. Let's see if this is some sort of double bottom and the stock is about to turn. Thanks, Marlo. Marlo also reminding me that today as well, it was ex-div. I was just missed out of luck here. I had no clue that today was ex-div, and hopefully the market really misses my stop if at all it does run to the upside. Investec also just muddling along, going nowhere slowly, just taking a breather here in this current box, and I'm liking the fact that it's doing that. It's taking that breather at the top end of that box. So if we can break through that 62 rand level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just below the low of that rest there. Life healthcare also finally. So Life healthcare broke out here, but just closing ever so slightly above that long term. The 2450 was holding quite strongly. It broke there, but since I bought, it continued to fall, and it hold a beautiful engulfing candle there. And then I added to my position as it broke back above that last purchase, and raised my stop to just below. Perhaps should have been a little bit more aggressive, but when I find myself in a winner, I like to give it a little bit more room to take a break from time to time. I don't I've learned from other trades that if you have a winner, just give it a bit more room than just give it a bit more room, because I tend to hold my winners for quite some time, so a little bit more room will be quite helpful. So I'm just waiting for close through that 25.75. If you can get it close through 25.75, I'll add to my position and raise my stop. For now, I don't have a place. I have targeted as a stop, but I suppose if I were to give it a shot, around that 34 level, just below the low there. So the mechanic, I know it looks a little bit random where I place the stop. Looks like I just the mechanic I use and the thought process that I use when placing a stop is I look for a candle where the market shouldn't touch its low if I'm right, and that's where I will place my stops. I will look for a specific candle in the charts, and then after which I'll just give it a sense or a rand at times of worth of a room. Just sometimes I'll be guided by a moving average. Sometimes I'll be guided by volatility in the stock on that day. Sometimes just the exact low of a candle is just perfectly good enough. At this point in time, I'll pick the low of today's candle, and I suppose yesterday's candle as well. In fact, the low of the candle that confirmed the bullish engulfing candle, creating those three white soldiers chart pattern there. Yeah, that's that. But for now, we'll see how if this level doesn't get taken out. If it does, the low of the candle that takes out my pre-stop will be my next place to place a stop loss, because you don't always get clean levels to place a stop loss. Like when you buy here, this is a nice clean level to place a stop loss. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes you just gotta look at a candle and say, if I'm right, the low of this particular candle will not get taken out. And similarly to the entry as well, I look for a candle where if the market take out the close of that candle, the buyers have so to speak won the battle, and the likelihood of that stop that I started with not being taken out quite high, and then I just take the position, whether it's taking a new position or adding into a position. But the first player in my team sheet is always my stop loss. So I want to know where I'm going to exit before I even know where I'm going to enter. Because often, I traded market. Often I have no idea what's the price I'm going to be paying at. So I pay less. The first player in my team sheet. I just want to know where I'm going to buy, rather than what price I'm going to buy. The only thing I'm concerned about, and the only thing that I want to know is where I'm going to sell my stop loss. So that's the first player on the team sheet. Mr. Price found some selling off after making new highs around that 241 level. But let's see if this 50-day exponential moving average is holding. Didn't hold it today, closed below it. Let's see if it does indeed hold. See, for example, here, I figured if I think I did catch that Mr. Price was paying a dividend there, move my stop away. Or my stop was a little bit further. I can't remember. But, I figured these lows here will not be taken out from right. So at this point in time, so today's low will be, since I've been lowering this pre-stop for some time now, and ultimately I can't lower it anymore because where I'm lowering it to is my actual stop loss. So let's see if this 50-day exponential moving average holds. If it holds as support over the next few days. If it doesn't, that low will get taken out and wouldn't we want to be in that stock. In any case, perhaps it will come back to retest the 200-day exponential moving average. But only time will tell. That's not what I want to do. MTN is another one that's starting to build up to be one of those big winners. I think I'm sitting at about 10%. Let me see if I can't pull these numbers actually. But I think I'm sitting at about a 10% profit on MTN at 10% or just under 10% on MTN at the minute. So if we can close through 139, I'll raise my stop to just below the traffic there, around that 127, perhaps starting to so above 136, I'll add to the position, but only raise my stop slowly, cautiously. Like I said, if I find myself in a winning position, I have to give it a little bit more room. To around 119, 118 level. But if we close through that 139, if we can get like a 140 close, I'll then add again to my position and raise my stop to 27 Rand, 30-ish, 27, 30 something Rand, 27 Rand, 30 something cents. Looking quite it's starting to look like it's one of those big winning trades. Shaping it quite nicely. I think that fintech deal, the market liking that fintech deal with Sanlam. That bank, it got sold off a little bit. I think a couple of weeks ago, but holding that 50-day exponential moving average, nice bullish engulfing candle that didn't stop moving higher. But of course, like the rest of the market, I have no idea why the market was selling today. But that's what happens in the market. Sometimes people buy, sometimes they sell. So today was one of those days that they sold. So I'm waiting for close through that 188 level. If we can take that high again, as like I said, I'm just looking for a candle where if we take it that close, it means the likelihood of my stopping here, if it's at that 167 level, is much lower. Perhaps I could even raise it to 177. But we'll see how the market behaves between now and then. Maybe even that 177 level isn't too bad a place to stop. But like I said, if you find yourself in a winning trade, be sure to give it a little bit more room. But Nedbank isn't that trade at the moment, so I'm free to be a little bit aggressive on that stop loss, just to contain. If a stock is going to run, it's really going to run. It's not going to do this back and forth thing. Rocks looked like it was breaking out at times intraday for this past week. Last week that was. Every time I looked at it, it looked like it was going to break. It looked like it was going to break, and all the time, when I have a level, that's why I don't make, act any trading decisions out intraday, because this could happen. Things like this could happen. When you think you imagine if when the stock gapped up in the morning, and I confirmed to myself before the close that this breakout already happened and it's going to happen. Look what happened. Closed below, and it hasn't triggered me in since. Same story the following day. Looked like it was going to confirm and trigger me in, but at the close, that it didn't happen. And it hasn't closed above that candle since. So I'm just gonna be, I want a green close through that candle. So if you can get it close through 105.90, I'll add to the position and raise my stop to around that 101 level, around that 50-day exponential moving average, keeping it as a guideline. I think there's a fair a bit of distance to give a volatile stock to some room. Old Mutual, Old Mutual is moving like a gem. Also, one of those when you're looking at the long-term picture, nice tap and handle breakout there on mutual closing. It's starting to look like it's closing above, testing above that 200-week exponential moving average. We'll see on Friday if we can get it close through the 200-week exponential moving average. And I'm going to then wait for a close through that 1790, and then add to my position on mutual. And it's looking quite decent, looking like a jam at the minute. And don't ask me why that happened. I have no idea why stocks do what they do. I just bet on probabilities. Pepco, I'm still, buyers and sellers are still having their own tug of war at the base of this current box. It looks like it's still holding out support. But if you can close back above 23 and back above, if the stock can start to move back into the box with a little bit of conviction, if buyers can get a little bit more conviction and close through the 23 rand level, I'll add to my position, raise my stop to the 21 rand 26 21 rand 60 level. Pick and Pay. So I got traded on Pick and Pay in stock on this range for quite some time. But when it broke out, I believe it was on Monday, I started building a position up on Pick and Pay. So we'll see if we can get through that 61 rand level, around that level there that was last respected. We also had a nice golden cross here. Let's see if this golden cross is real or it's some Minka Mouse business. So if we can close through that 61.50 level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just below break even there on Pick and Pay. Remro also starting to move quite nicely. So I want to close through that 23.95. After that, also, when you're looking at the long-term giant cup and handle for me, pattern there, if you have a long-term stop of 111, if the stock has a chance of getting to 160, that's a decent risk-reward ratio there. Of course, I believe this was all corporate action, but the stock was just on the downfall, just even before corporate action. If you can close through that 123 level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop loss behind me accordingly. Sanlam, the market seems like it's liking that Sanlam NTN deal. It's moving quite nicely, but finding some selling again there at that 165. That level has been quite an important level. So if we do break it, We tested it today, but closed below it. So let's see if buyers have a bit of strength sometime this week or next week. If we can get it close to 94, 91, 95 or something. Let's see the exact price. Close of that candle, 64.90. Add to the position and raise my stop to around that 62, 61.20 level. Liking that ascending triangle pattern. And I suppose if you're trading for targets, 84 Rand is not a bad place to have a target. And that's a decent, not a bad risk reward ratio. And of course, even better risk reward ratio with a stop loss of 61.20. SAPI holding back the 50-day exponential moving average quite nicely. So I'm waiting for a close. I started building a position here. I think there was was it active? Yeah, but I started building a position. So if we can get through for 45 Rand 20, I'll add it to my position, raise my stop to around that 41 Rand, just below the 50-day exponential moving average on SAPI. ShopRite. So it broke. It got into a new box yesterday, but looks like it's coming back to found a little bit of selling on the entry of the new box, but that doesn't worry me too much. So I'm gonna be now waiting for it close through 194, but of course, if a nice chart pattern develops. Between now and then, I'll add to the position and raise my stop to just around that 180-ish level, 190, 179 level, 180 levels there on ShopRite. Also starting to turn into quite a sizable trade as ShopRite. Also the long-term picture of ShopRite is looking quite like a jab. The long-term picture is looking quite something, and I think it had, there's quite a distance back to those 266 highs on ShopRite, and perhaps 265 highs and a little bit higher. We'll see what we get, but it will take some time. So sitting tight will be quite required on ShopRite. Sibanye came bitterly close to stopping me out last week. Having a tough day with the 200-day exponential moving average. I'm starting to get a sense that I have the chances of me being stopped out are starting to rise higher and higher. With the stock failing to break through that 200-day exponential moving average, but I will not preempt that happening. I will not. I'll just wait for it to actually happen. But otherwise, if I don't get stopped, and the stock closes back above that 64 Rand 60 level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop loss behind me to just below that 200-day exponential moving average. Standard Bank, Golden Cross trending higher. In fact, banks generally are just moving quite nicely. Waiting for a close through that 152.30 level. Then I'll add to my position and raise my stop quite aggressively to just below my last entry around that 142.80 level. Transaction capital. So it finally took out that 34.80 level, but came back into the previous box, but staying at the top range of that bottom, quite comfortable. My stop loss is quite a fair distance away. Let's see how long it stays before breaking back into a higher box. But a sense that I'll be adding to my position if the stock breaks back into the higher box. Perhaps initially raise my stop to just below the 50-day exponential moving average around the 32 level. That's just waiting to just monitor how the prices the price moves. Truwards, I'm surprised, still trading in a range. I'm comfortable with where my stop is. But if we can get through that 68.90-ish level, which is seemingly starts to look like a price that we could drop. I think above 67 rand level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just below the low of this consolidation area here. And just below the low of the trend line there, and wait for a close through that 68.90 level. I think I'll start adding I'll add a position to this trade, above 67 rand. Vodacom, it rebroke back above that level there. I raised my stop to just below that 50-day exponential moving average. But let's see the long-term picture, at least the medium-term picture that I have on Vodacom. If you ask me for a target, I'd wager somewhere around that 185, 175 level. Not a bad risk reward ratio, but as you guys know, I just raised my stop. I have no targets. This take profit column is always empty for me. Willie's also starting to move nicely. I heard that it had quite a decent results. I didn't check them out. So I think I'm waiting. I'm waiting for close to that 167 rand level. Let me jump back into the weekly charts, which is a level that was quite respected by the market. So if we can get through that 67 rand level, as you can see, a long-term breakout as well, starting to trend higher. That golden cross isn't too far from happening. I think with a close above that 67 rand level, we'll get a golden cross on a weekly chart, which is quite significant on Woolies. And that is the last one I have. Ladies and gents, if you have questions, please do drop them in the Q&A box or in the chat box. I am monitoring both. Or if you have a chat request you want to kind of look at, I'll be happy to. So Rich is asking if I ever take money off the table on your trades, one big profits in No, I never take money off the table. Like I said, I will only exit a trade on a stop loss, and this is why. Let me pull up this distal trade. And this is why. This is why I never, take money off the trade, off the table. Let's go back in time a little bit to around this time. Really, I took this trade around this time on the 8th of September. My first entry was around this time, 8th of September. It was. Just go back a little bit. Just pretend all of those things that happened the past year didn't happen. Let's just pretend for a second that we don't know. Let me just fast forward a little bit. Yes. So this is the bullish engulfing candle that triggered me in. But remember, at the time I was at the time I was just trading a bunch of things, throwing mud at the wall, seeing what sticks. So one of the chart patterns that I was trading was a bullish engulfing candle, and I think my initial stop loss at the time was I figured, below the low of this candle here, must have been around 68 Rand level. Now, if you ask me for a target at that point in time, I had a target of 79 Rand. So, in other words, taking money off the table. I had a target of 79 Rand. And I had a buy. I think I had a buy stop order just above the high of this bullish engulfing candle, which didn't happen until 4 days later, which I got triggered in. As the market started to move, I think I did raise my target. I remember raising the target to, when you zoom out a little bit, to 84 Rand. But when I saw that breakout there, I had to zoom out a little bit and look at that as a target. And I think there must have been a gap that I saw as well. That why can't the stock reach that 120 level? And at the time, I had that as a target. I started raising my stop loss behind me just to reduce a little bit of risk. And eventually, I ended up with a methodology of not having a target on a trade and just trading my stop loss behind me. And that really was inspired by one of the best books that I've listened to in the past year, which was How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market by Nicholas Davis. Because you can never call the exact top, because when I'm selling, I'm almost in a sense, or at least implicitly, saying, this stock can run as high as this point. Started developing that methodology of just trailing my stop loss behind me. And that book, Nicholas Davis, was also a big proponent of just not, for as long as the stock is rising, hold on to it. So you hold into a stock for as long as it's rising until it stops and starts turning the other way. And when you think about it, the stop loss behind you as you trade, from 10% higher to 100% higher. For a stock to turn and drop 50%, it positively has to drop 10% first, 20% first, or however much room you want to give the market. So for as long as the stock is moving higher, and you have your stop loss in the market placed in, it's important that you have it placed in the market. I know that if the stock starts to fall, I sleep well at night knowing that I will not be holding that stock. And from time to time, that stop loss become a big giant profit. So Mazi is asking if all my trades are with thick markets. Yes, at this point in time, all my trades are 100% of my trading portfolio is with thick markets. I'm quite happy with the service. No minimums, no commissions on JSE equities, CFD equities. Since there's no commission, it means I can really take advantage of pyramiding into positions. So at the moment, and I haven't, not that I have been looking, but I haven't seen anyone that had a better offer, at least regarding to GSEs, equity CFDs. I hope that answers. Vismus is asking, how much do I risk per trade? So I risk 1% of the current balance at the time that I'm calculating that position size. And so what I do is the distance between my entry point and my stop loss that's the risk per share. And then I just risk 1% of the account balance. But there's a little bit caveat. So as I trade my stop loss, behind me when I find myself in a winning trade, the first or earlier leg of the trade gets into starts to get into profitability. I start to get into profit. For example, with this with this chart that we're looking at on Distal. So once that profit gets above 10%, I risk 2% of the balance on the trade, and once it gets to 20%, I up it to 3%. Once it gets to 30%, I up it to 4%, and above 40%, I just that's above. As high as it goes for me, I risk 5% of my account balance. So what tends to happen once I get above that 2% level, I quickly get to the higher levels of raising my position, because if a stock is really moving, that earlier bit of the trade, the profit size of that position becomes a little bit bigger. So what I want to do, so all my trades, when they start off, they're 1% trade, but until they start to prove themselves to be winning trades, then I start to risk a little bit more. So I want to have my biggest positions on my winning trades and my smallest positions on all my losing trades. So I hope that helps. Ladies and gents, I'm not seeing questions or chat requests coming in. You're very welcome, Cosmos. I'm not seeing questions or chats coming in. So we're going to park it here. The video will be up on the on the VillageTrader YouTube channel, guys. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. It helps me out. Like the video as well. It does help me out. And also do share. I'm never asking you guys to share the videos, but guys do share them, share the videos. They do help me out as well. So Vismus is also asking if I only trade stocks at this point in time. Yes, I'm starting to test Forex out on the VillageTrader platform with a different broker, just to see how that plans out. Graham, thank you very much. So Eldridge is asking SPA and USD ZAR. Let's first look at USD ZAR, a broker trend line. And I think I had on the demo I had with a different broker, I had a long USD ZAR. I was looking at a head and shoulders pattern, but I think that is starting to fail. I think that trend of rand getting stronger, it looks like it's continuing. Perhaps we could see it at around 12 rand. So at this point in time, if I would be long rand, because even when you're looking at the relationship of the 50 and the 200-day exponential moving average, we had a golden cross there, so I'd be, I suppose, short USD ZAR, but me a really long rand with a stop loss just above 1480. So I'll be short. Yeah. And then let's look at SPA. You also touched on SPA. There you go. SPA. So we have a golden cross here, but I'm really waiting for it's been stuck on this range. This range has been an important range for SPA. So I want it out of this range if it doesn't have any chance of really running. So I'm just going to be waiting for the stock to get above 220. But below 220, I'm not even interested on SPA at the minute. But if you have 220 as a target, it's not a bad place to be in. Guys, that would be it. Let me park it here. Thank you guys for joining in. Like as I said, the video will be up in a few hours. Join again. Podcast was out. Yeah, guys, by the way, I forgot to plug the podcast. Podcast was out this morning. I was interviewing Garth McKenzie on the importance of mindset. Do guys check it out? It was quite a great conversation that I had there with Garth McKenzie. Guys, check it out. Otherwise, see you guys next week. Have a great evening. Cheers, everyone.